Good evening and Happy New Year to everybody. Welcome to the regular business meeting for Verona Borough Council for Tuesday, January 8th, 2019. Please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Mr. Kenna.
President Ricky Bell.
Here.
Mr. Conti.
Here.
Dr. Carpenter.
Present.
Ms. Lalbo.
Here.
Mr. McCarthy.
Here.
Ms. Provenza.
Here.
Mr. Musacevich.
Present.
Mayor Recupero.
Here.
Mr. Alexander.
Here.
Mr. Pitch.
Here.
And I am also here.
There are no registered comments, so we'll move right on to comments from the public. If you're going to speak this evening, please be sure to have signed in. Approach the podium and state your name and address. Limit your time to 3 minutes.
Happy New Year. Dave Matlin, 722 Verona. I know as I understand, the parking permit ordinance is being tabled for later. I was just wondering, talking to other residents and neighbors, there's a lot of confusion.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if is that going to be re-looked at?
Yep.
Okay. Is any chance that council could explain, like, what prompted it or the reasons behind, like, some of the issues that might have been going on?
When you're done, I'll do that.
Sure.
Hey,
Thanks.
Dave, do me a favor and see if that mic's on.
It is.
Hello? Hello?
No.
It's on.
Looks like it's on.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, moving right along here. Mr. Kenna.
Do you want me to respond to that?
Oh, do you want to now? Or you can do it now.
Okay, so with regard to the parking ordinance, that was brought forward by the mayor. And there was just a difference of what he wanted versus what I thought he wanted. I thought he wanted residential parking. In other words, parking for residents to be able to park their vehicles at a location. That's not what he wanted. He wanted more of a park and ride in those areas so that the residents in Verona, from wherever they live, can drive their vehicles and park their vehicles on those stretches of road on 2nd and Center where people don't live. And so they pay a permit fee to be able to park there during the day while they go and get the bus and take the bus into work. So it was completely opposite of what he wanted, is what I prepared.
Yeah.
So we're going to be redoing that.
All right. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Okay, Mr. Kenna.
I'm up.
Yep.
So everybody got an email today with meeting minutes.
Right, and that's why the fee was higher.
Yeah, I mean, it makes more sense now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, thanks.
Everybody got meeting minutes in their email today. If there are no questions or changes, I would ask for a motion to pass the meeting minutes.
I just have to say again, getting the minutes at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I don't know about anybody else, but I have not had time to read them.
And table it for the workshop.
Table it for the workshop.
Thank you.
Okay, bills payable. Everybody has a list of all the bills that were paid and are pending in your pile of things that Marcia prepared today. We would need a motion to pay the bills.
I will make a motion to pay the bills.
Motion by Mr. Conti. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Musacevich. Are there any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Sorry.
Your 3 minutes is up.
I thought it was a cake.
All right, tax collector special taxes. For December 2018, we received $3,317.89 in real estate taxes for the current year, $1,675.76 in real estate taxes that were delinquent, $2,587.13 in real estate transfer taxes, $24,619.40 in earned income taxes, $585.55 in local service taxes. That's it for taxes.
Okay, can I have a motion to accept the tax collector special taxes report?
I'll make a motion to accept the tax.
Motion by Mr. McCarthy, is there a second? Second by Mrs. Provenza. Are there any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
The treasurer's report for December 2018, we began the month with $441,669.74 in the general fund. We received deposits of $62,965.57. We spent $137,221.15 for an ending balance of $367,414.16.
Can I have a motion to accept the treasurer's report?
I'll make a motion to accept treasurer's report.
Motion by Mr. Conti, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Suchovich, are there any questions?
Yes, I do. I just wanted to ask Jerry, on all these other accounts that are on that summary page, I get that, like, the seizure money is from the police and where we get the sewer account money from and the parking lot fund. I just was wondering, how do we feed into the War Memorial Fund?
Donations.
Just donations? Okay, and the recycling account, does that come from that 904 thing?
Yep.
And did we get that this year?
I'd have to look back at my notes. I don't know right now.
Okay. All right, I was just curious, thank you.
Okay, motion on the floor made by Mr. Conti, second by Mr. Suchovich. Any other questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Police chief's report.
Good evening. For the month of December, we received 155 complaints. 20 cars reported, 10 were cleared, 8 arrests were made. Crime code summaries issued with 4, 18 vehicle code summaries issued, 19 borough code summaries issued, and 48 borough parking tickets. Magistrate fines collected was $249.84. Borough's fines and fees collected was $280. Police reports purchased $45. Municipal fines $148.66. Total fines and fees was $723.50. And another $50 in parking permit fee. That's all I have for this evening.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to accept the police chief's report?
I'll make a motion to accept the chief police report.
Motion by Mr. McCarthy.
Second.
Second by Mr. Conti. Are there any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Fire chief's report.
We had 9 fire calls for the month of December. Fortunately, nothing major happened, so throughout the holidays, so everything's good.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to accept the fire chief's report?
I'll make a motion to accept fire chief's report.
Motion by Mr. Conti, is there a second? Second by Mrs. Provenza. Are there any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. EMS report.
Good evening.
Good evening.
For the month of Verona, or for months of December, we had 10 advanced life support calls, 7 basic life support calls, 1 deceased, 6 patient refusals, 3 cancellations, 1 false call. And for the year 2018, we had over 5,000 calls.
That's a lot.
And also, part of the meeting, I checked the AD in the lobby. The pads are expiring at the end of the month. I'll go ahead and order new pads and have them placed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can you check the ones in the cars too?
Yeah.
Because I think we got them all at the same time.
You're right.
Just check them, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jamie. Can I have a motion to accept the EMS report?
I'll make a motion to accept.
Motion by Mr. Conti, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Suchovich. Are there any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
The only other thing I have is, if anybody heard Nancy alluding to it, the website should be live by the end of the meeting, so he's texting me. Right now, it's veronaborough.org, but as soon as it's live, I'm going to get with Dawn and we're going to transfer it, so it'll be both that and veronaborough.com.
Thank you, Mr. Kenna. It's up?
No.
Borough, B-R-O-R?
No, the whole word.
Oh, it's spelled
The
out.
whole word?
Spell out the whole word.
Yep, that's all I have.
Thank you. Mayor?
A few things here. I haven't heard back from Amanda from the land bank. I have a call into her. We were supposed to meet at the workshop for the workshop. And I talked to Tom Benecki. He wants to come to the meeting also. He's trying to get more and more communities involved in this. Fox Chapel is involved, and it works out very well. I talked to the mayor of Sharpsburg. They also are involved in the land bank. They had over 200 abandoned homes and vacant lots. And since the land bank, they started this program, they're down to 20. He said it was very successful. So I'm going to set it up for the workshop in February. It'll probably take maybe an hour because there's a couple other communities that would like to come. Penn Hills, Plum, and I don't know if Oakmont's going to be interested or not. Tom also said that as long as, in the school district too, we're going to have to invite people from the school to understand what it is, because I really don't understand it either. That's why we'll have this meeting. But Tom says that you do not, if you're a joint community with a school district, you do not need both communities to agree. As long as the school district agrees with one or both communities, you know, you can go along with this. But like I said, I'm going to set it up for February. I'm going to try to call her again.
Dave, could you say another sentence or two about what that is? I don't know what that means.
Craig, I think you would know more about the land bank, don't you? Because I think you and I had talked about that. You said it was successful in quite a few communities. Because this is new to me also.
Sure, what it is when there's a dilapidated building that needs to be fixed up, goes into the land bank, and there's money available then to fix it back up to code. And once that happens, then it can be sold out to the general public and put back on the tax rolls. That's the whole purpose of the land bank. And like you said, in order to do it, both the school district and the local municipality has to participate.
The municipality is the one who does the repairs? Who does the work?
Isn't it more or less sold to the land bank? They take it over?
Yeah, I think the land bank does it all.
Yeah.
The land bank does it? Okay.
And the county is basically supporting this also, Allegheny County. But apparently there is not a lot of communities that are jumping on this, because I think they're misled, but because right away they think they're going to be, you know, HUD houses and so on. And when I talked to Amanda, she says, no, she says... People fear change, but yeah.
it's an amazing opportunity to rehabilitate a condemned, falling down structure.
Right.
Are these homes that are really, really in bad condition?
They're blighted homes.
Okay.
Yes.
So,
and like I said, Sharpsburg, the mayor of Sharpsburg told me they had 200 abandoned properties with homes and, you know, empty lots. They're down to 20, he said.
so this is only for making them whole, not for demolishing.
It's the opposite of demolishing, that's right. It's to rehabilitate.
Does the land bank decide whether it's worth repairing or demolishing?
Well, that's why we'll have this meeting.
So that's the questions that we'll ask the people that come.
All right.
And she did tell me, she says, make sure you ask me about the HUD situation. I want to explain that to everybody, so. The other thing, did we put the Crown Vic up for sale yet, on municipal bid?
The Crown Vic? No.
Yeah, we talked about that.
We talked about holding off on getting a new one.
Right. And we were going to get rid of the Crown Vic, because we already have 3 cars.
Including the Crown Vic?
That would be 4. We have the white unmarked, and the silver one, and the black one, and the Crown Vic.
So you don't want the code enforcement to have their own vehicle?
That would be a standby for if the officers needed it. If one of them broke down, then they could use that one.
There's no lights or radio in that car.
Yeah, I don't know who took those off. I didn't know nothing about that either.
Because that's the way we did it with the other car. It wasn't a police
I mean, we don't need 4 cars. You know, we're paying insurance on 4 vehicles.
Okay. So that'd be up.
I mean, that's up to the board. I'm just giving you my opinion. I mean, Mark uses that car, what, 3 days a week, couple hours a day? And the car just sits there. If we need a car, we use it. We use it for the parade and what have you. We've used it for, that's up to the board.
What would Mark use then?
He'd use the same car he's using. That car would just be a spare. We would already have 2 cars on the road. If one of them went down, then we would switch into that. I'm sure there's got to be a light.
So Mark used the Explorer, you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is this something we want to
That's up
talk
to the
about
board.
and bring back to workshop?
Sure.
Yeah.
Can we do that?
I didn't know, I knew about holding off getting the new vehicle. I didn't know about getting rid of one, and
So,
I'd rather us talk about it if it's all right.
Yes.
when are we gonna talk about it?
The workshop.
At the workshop? Oh, okay.
When we were here earlier, Mark was here, our code enforcement officer, building inspector. I talked about the abandoned houses. I asked him a question, and Matt had, the ones up on 4th Street, we talked about ripping down, but you know, he had said that we're still waiting for a grant on those. And
Excuse me, David. Now, and he had mentioned the ones on East Railroad and the
on
one on
East
Union.
Railroad too, yeah.
Now, would we hold on these for the land bank? Are these things?
See, I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
This is all new to me also.
All right.
That's why we
don't have a land bank.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean,
So it's up, you could authorize the demolition.
We did authorize a demolition on the
Okay.
4th Street houses.
Yes.
We just haven't
moved on it.
moved on it with a bidder because,
Mark said these other properties were more
and we applied,
congested.
and we applied for a grant to possibly pay for it. Okay.
I gotta talk to a person from East Railroad, the dead end street down here. They are asking for us to pave that section. It's probably maybe about 50 yards, maybe 70 yards. And I talked to Matt and I told Dominic, you know, if you had a chance to go look at that street, they wanted to come to the council meeting. There's, I believe, 5 residents on there. It's used pretty heavily, even though it's a dead-end street. There's a business there. The heavy tractor trailers go through there to Avalotis, and the road is pretty torn up.
What block is that, David? Down there?
400?
470, yeah, 400. Yeah, the 400 block down there. So, you know, Matt can, you know, comment on that later if he wanted to. And I also got another letter from just recently, the other day, a resident on 3rd Avenue. She wrote me a letter, and she also has in her deed that it was from 1951. The deed's written up as 3rd Avenue, I believe. Yeah, 3rd Avenue. But when we changed the signs, we changed it back to 3rd Street. And she's saying it's very confusing. She gets deliveries, she no longer drives. She can't drive, she gets medical stuff, and they constantly bringing it to Penn Hills. Even though Penn Hills has 4 digits, then they realize it's got to be this Verona, not the Penn Hills zip code. And
Bless you.
she went to the post office and they said they had nothing. She went to the post office and they gave her the phone number for Washington DC to verify the correct address, and they told her it's definitely 3rd Avenue, according to the post office. And their deed, property was bought 68 years ago, also states 3rd Avenue. And when we did the street changes, we put it back to 3rd Street.
Didn't we base that off of 911?
Yeah.
So Allegheny County 911 says 3rd Street.
Yeah. Remember 3rd Street.
I mean,
I thought Rhoda did a lot, like, she went to post
Yeah.
office, 911, she did a lot of
Rhoda did a lot of
research.
legwork.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, she did.
I worked with Rhoda on that. We used county tax records.
Yes.
Post office, 911, and Google.
Yes.
And anytime there was a discrepancy where it wasn't clear cut which one it went to the 911 address.
Which was street.
Which was street.
Yeah, so if we changed one that was an avenue or a street and we changed it to something else, that was because it complied with the 911 addresses.
So if it went to 911, if it went to street, then it would go to Penn Hills, 3rd Street in Penn Hills, not 3rd.
Because they should know the difference in addresses.
It's 151.
Exactly, they should, because Verona only has 3, Penn Hills has 4.
Yeah.
We've
4.
always been street. I don't ever remember it being avenue.
So what would you like me to tell this woman?
That it's complying with the 911.
Yeah, I mean, I would think the 911 would be more
Critical.
important. I think that's what the idea was.
I still have all the files on that. I'll go back and pull the information as to why it went to street. That way you can
Let me know.
let her know for sure.
Yeah, by the weekend if you could.
Yep.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Matt.
That's all I have.
Thank you. Just a few things here.
The second page of that
Yeah,
is a duplicate of the first page, so just move on to the third page.
yeah.
I apparently put the first page on there twice.
I thought you were trying to make it
Okay, we had talked about changing the speed in front of the park here in this block to 15 miles an hour, and I don't know if you were able to do anything with that, Mr. Alexander.
No, not yet. Right now, I'm trying to figure out if there's a way that we can lower the speeds around a park. I believe there's a park area right there. So I've not been able to find out the answer to that yet.
Okay, because on Center Avenue, 2nd Street, Athletic and South, all around Cribs, it's 15 miles an hour.
Right, and I don't know whether, and again, I don't know whether we just put those signs up
Okay,
or whether it's a lawful speed zone.
okay. The banner community, and I'm going to let Mrs. Provenza talk about that later, is due by the end of the month here. And I had given Mrs. Provenza, Mr. McCarthy, and Mrs. Loalbo the application, so can go from there. The vacancy board appointment has to be done yearly. Last year, we had appointed Mike Forbeck. I had talked with him yesterday and today, both yesterday and today, and he is interested in maintaining the position as the vacancy board chair, so I'm making a motion for Mike Forbeck to have that seat. Is there a second?
I will second.
Okay, second by Mr. Conti. Are there any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. And we already held our exec session that Mr. Alexander will talk about. I think, along with the parking, we had talked previously also, the chamber was wondering, Dom, if they can get parking spaces around that 700 block of East Railroad as well. So maybe when spring hits, summer hits, and they're doing the painting, can there be parking spaces put along South Avenue there in front of the Thai restaurant, as well as along the East Railroad here?
Yeah, that's the plan. I talked to AJ about it. They'll have no problems doing that. We're also Dave asked me for probably a year about repaving the parking lots and relining them. So we're gonna try getting that all started and going all at once. It's not that huge of a deal. They should be able to do that.
Okay, very good. And that is everything. Mr. Pitch?
A couple quick items. The signal poles for the Wildwood signal, they have been ordered. The contractor is expecting to start actually doing some site work in spring here. So that is moving along. The CDBG sewer lining that's happening along Diamond Way, the pre-construction televising was completed before the holidays there. They were supposed to begin last night and then postponed till tonight. They wanted to be sure that they didn't cause any backups for anyone. So with the 2 nights of potential rain, they actually called me on my way here. They're going to be starting tomorrow night. I was a little bummed out by that, but they're doing their due diligence to make sure that they don't affect any of the businesses or anything along there. Because we know during the wet times, we do have some infiltration in there, so they wanted to be on the safer side. The First Street Reconstruction Grant, the December meeting for that was canceled again. It should be rescheduled in January, so that's still in limbo if we are going to be awarded that or not. And I had also given you a stapled packet. It has mostly all the roads that we have been discussing over the past few months of potentially paving, with some rough cost estimates attached to all them. So that's something that we can look at and start thinking about which ones we would like to select for this year. I also talked to Jerry. We're going to be putting together a road assessment program to where we'll be able to work with AJ and basically assess the condition of all the borough's roads to help alleviate some of these decisions of which ones to pave or not. So yearly we can pretty much have a list of what's the worst roads in the borough. And other than that, I know this past year we heard a lot about water and rain, and it was made official December 31st with the rain we received. 2018 was now the wettest year on record for Western Pennsylvania, previously beating out 2004. And that's all I have.
So Peach Alley's not on this list?
It is.
Yes, it is.
I labeled that, I'm sorry, let me find it here. Yeah, it's the third one on the first page. I know we refer to it as Peach. For some reason on maps it's unnamed. So I labeled it the alley between 3rd and 4th, Peach in parentheses there.
Okay. Thank you.
And then to answer your question too, Dave, that end section of East Railroad is the last one on the
That's what I was just gonna ask you, is that what it was?
That one, I did put that one together pretty quickly. I would probably want to look at the traffic patterns a little bit more with Avalotas there. We might want to beef up the cross section there, but at least that gets us an idea of what it would be.
Okay.
Thank you. Mr. Alexander.
Thank you, Madam President. We've already talked about the ordinances. I think Nancy's going to bring them up. Under her report, we did have a public hearing on the brew pub ordinance, and that will be ripe for action when we get to it. With regard to the executive session that was on the agenda, we did have an executive session immediately preceding tonight's meeting. We had some time left over following the public hearing, so we had that executive session at that point for personnel-related issues and some minor collective bargaining issue, I guess. But that was the executive session. And that's pretty much all I have to report. We have another code enforcement ordinance meeting on the 4th Monday.
28th. 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock on the 28th.
That's all I have to report.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Clancy.
We got the road department, Department of Public Works contract done. They were happy with it. They signed it. That's all over. That's pretty much all I have right now.
Thank you.
They've had a pretty mild winter so far, huh? Saves our pocketbooks a little bit.
Oh, and the website is up.
That's the old one.
That's the old one?
Okay. Dr. Carpenter?
I just wanted to say to Dom also, the guys have been doing a fantastic job continuing with the leaf pickup. I think we've broken some kind of record, continuing to pick up leaves into January, but it's been very much appreciated.
Well, hopefully, tonight that's going to change.
Yeah.
Well, so they say.
2 to 4 inches, that's enough to...
Tonight?
That's what Channel 2 says.
It's nice outside now still.
Overnight.
After
They're talking on the weekend, I
After
thought.
midnight.
Supposed to drop it.
I thought it was more up north.
Well, I hope you're right, but
Yeah.
Channel 2 said 2 to 4 inches possible for us tomorrow.
Wow. Great. Getting out of here just in time.
You know when to leave.
Okay. First, I'd just like to say I hope everybody had a great holiday and, you know, having a happy new year. And I guess I'd like to start off my report by making a motion to pass the brew pub ordinance.
Okay, motion on the floor to pass the brew pub ordinance.
I'll make the motion.
I made the motion.
Oh, I'll second it then.
Second by Mrs. Provenza. Are there any questions? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passed.
Okay. And as Craig had mentioned earlier, the other two ordinances that were advertised at the end of December are going to be tweaked a bit, and we'll come back with those in February to vote on. Okay.
Potentially, yes.
Potentially. All right. And the only other thing I wanted to say is that anybody who has any suggestions or recommendations or questions about ordinances they'd like to see produced for the borough, let me know, get in touch with me, and I'll work on them. And that's all I have for now.
Okay, thank you. Mr. McCarthy.
We have the contract in the hands of the police officers. I understand they want one more meeting. We're going to set that up and try to hopefully get that signed for the next workshop. That's all I have at this time.
Thank you. Mr. Suchovich.
The only thing we have is the auditors will be in the building next week to work on the 2017 and 2018 audits.
Do you want to say anything about the fundraising down at the Eagles for the fire department this month of January?
I could. The Eagles, the club right down the road, has a fundraiser every Friday night for various groups in the town, and this month happens to be for the fire department. So if anybody's interested, it's open to the public from 7 to 9-ish. They have some Chinese auctions, and the kitchen's open, and beverages of choice. And you don't have to be a member to go in.
7 to 9 this Friday.
Every Friday.
Every Friday, but the next 3 Fridays, all Fridays in January, are for the Verona Fire Department.
Is that the upstairs or the downstairs?
Downstairs. It's called Bar Bingo.
Very nice.
I got most of the moose coming here.
Yeah, well, I was there that night when we talked about it. She got about probably 8 or 10 baskets donated.
Nice. Nice, nice, nice.
Thank you.
Mrs. Loalba.
Last night, the rec board met. They had their monthly meeting. We had it last evening due to New Year's Eve being the week before, or New Year's Day rather. One of the things, Dom and Jerry, they're asking if we can find maybe a storage place somewhere in the garage or area for the projector and let the popcorn machine be kept. Like if they could have, the rec board could have their own little space somewhere.
Would they need access to it?
They're gonna want access. That's the only issue. And that, I mean, I don't have, if everyone's all right with that, I don't have a problem, but we're having issues before with people going into the garage that we didn't know were going into the garage, and there's things in there people are gonna get hurt on. That's all I'm worried about. If we can figure it out in a way that nobody's gonna get hurt and we don't have to worry about who's going in there, I don't have a problem with it.
Not only that, things that had to have disappeared, like the 10-foot Christmas tree.
Yeah.
And the tables from the chamber.
I'm not saying that this group is gonna do that.
Right.
It happened once before, and I would hate for something like that to happen again. So we have to figure out a way that we can do that. I'll try figuring out a way we can get something
Or if
in
there's
the
a room
garage.
somewhere that we could have access to, or they could have access to.
Okay.
Somehow figure that out. I always like to mention too, the Lower Valley Football Association, they have donated toys that were left over from something they had done. They donated for the bike derby for 2019. Also, they would like to use the $1,900 that they had raised from their concessions to possibly, they would like to buy new garbage cans for Cribsfield, if that's okay with council.
Do you know how much that'll cost?
Well, they're thinking maybe 3 cans. They have a catalog. You know, it'll be similar to the ones that are in the borough already. That's what they're looking at.
And how much?
They have $1,900 to spend.
I know, I'm just wondering how much.
I don't know exactly, I mean.
How much does a garbage can cost?
Ours cost a lot.
They're pretty expensive, yeah.
$300 or $400 a piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what Vince was looking at, I don't remember the exact one, I think they were around 400 or 500.
Something like that, so that's why he was thinking probably like 3 cans.
Are they looking at something that would be like mounted or just sitting?
I don't know, I was asking Vince the same stuff last night. He didn't show me the exact model, but he said they were really similar to what's out on the boulevard.
Okay.
So he said that they were weighted so they wouldn't like tip over easily.
And we had an incident not too long ago where a few kids were up there, they were picking all the cans up and running through the field, dumping as much, spreading it out as far as they could. Fortunately, somebody called and we were able to call 911 and they got caught. But I'd hate it. If we can avoid that, if there's any way, even if we have to put like a cement base in, figure out the best spot to put them, the safest spot, put a cement base in and attach it somehow. But yeah, well, I don't think there's any issues with that.
Were the old ones, were they the plastic ones or the PVC?
A couple of them were plastic and a couple of them were the steel barrels. They tried chaining them to the post at the pavilion and that didn't work out too good. So yeah, once you guys figure out what you want, we'll figure out where the best place to put them is between us and you guys, and maybe we can get them mounted so we don't have to worry about them getting tipped over.
Yeah, maybe.
Sounds good.
Yeah, because I haven't seen them. I mean, Vince might have showed them to me months ago, but I don't remember what.
Right.
Maybe we can ask him.
We can do that.
Send down what he's looking at.
Great, we'll do that, and then we can decide what's best for the park. Go from there. Also, last night's meeting was mainly a strategic planning meeting that gathered from all the different surveys that went out this past year through the summer, and just looking into a lot of different activities that the rec board would like to see. A lot of the residents had asked for too, to go into the different parks. So down the way, I mean, we're looking into the concerts again, you know, the movies, the wrestling event, things like that, and maybe bringing back some really nice community days, more like a festival type atmosphere is what we're thinking of. So we have a lot of work to do, and we'll probably be asking for help and volunteers along the way as well.
That's another reason I'd love to be able to move on that new building up there. Put a whole new building up, we could have storage for the screen, the movie projector, all that kind of stuff.
That's a good idea with that, too, yeah.
Is there any room in the shed that they put up there that they could
RAAs?
store stuff in there?
I can ask them. I've never seen, I mean, I've seen it when there was nothing in it when they just moved it in, but I don't know what they have stored in there.
Okay.
I can ask them.
Yeah, I mean temporarily until we can figure out what's going on.
The question is going to be, is the RA going to want to give up a key and lose that and give access to somebody?
Right.
If their stuff's in there.
Right. So.
I'll ask them, see what they say.
Thank you, that's all I have.
Thank you, Janet. Pat, maybe you can get together with Sergeant Francos and let him know that the Lower Valley Athletic Association has these gifts for the bike derby. Because I think
I'll be talking
Vince and Tim want to like get rid of the box, because what they were able to do, and I don't know how they acquired these gifts, but they were able to satisfy 5 families at the Verona Elementary School with them.
All right.
So, okay? Thank you.
I'll talk to them.
Thank you, Janet. And Mrs. Provenza.
Thank you. The newsletter, because of the holiday, they were closed the entire week of Christmas and just did a couple days the week of New Year. So newsletter is in print now, and they said we should have it probably the middle of next week. And they apologized for the delay, but it was holidays and they couldn't help it. Website, Jerry already announced that it's up and running, so that's good. I wanted to also ask, our phone system, are we going to update that, Jerry, since there were changes in people on the board here? I think it was in need of changing or updating.
Nancy, did we know, isn't that what you talked about earlier? Isn't that in process of being updated?
No, it's not in the, it's not.
We've had the phone guy out a few times, and I know
Yeah,
that that's...
and it's still, if you press 7 to talk to a board person, you get the council from 2017.
Okay, so I'll follow up with them tomorrow.
Thank you.
Okay, also, Banner Community, I want to thank Janet and Dawn, Ray and Pat for their paperwork. We're due with that January 31st, and we're going to work on that immediately, get it done and get it into the folks so that we're not late with it. We've represented a number of years and we want to continue doing that. I hope I misunderstood that the tree is gone. Where did a 10-foot tree that I got, where did it go?
Not this tree.
Pardon me?
Not this tree. I'll talk to you later about it. It's from a while back.
Oh, I was afraid of...
It's from a little while back.
Not the one that I got,
No.
not the 10-foot one?
No.
Okay. To each of you, a very happy and healthy New Year. Certainly hope you all had a wonderful Christmas. And of course, to our board here. Thank you, Sandy.
Thank you,
See,
Sylvia.
one more thing.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting their work report, the Public Works, they every month. No problem.
You hand it over to Jerry?
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, special committees, anything? Mrs. Provenza, Mr. Suchovich?
No, ma'am.
Okay. The COG isn't going to meet until the 23rd, so there's nothing there. Council will now hear comments from the public on public-related items. Please approach the podium, clearly state your name and address, and limit your comments to 3 minutes.
Hi, Jen Moser, 751 East Railroad Avenue, Santa Cruz. I just wanted to ask the council if you would ever consider putting a handicap parking space in the parking lot across the street, since there's not one on this road at all.
I don't know what we have to do that. Can we just put it in? Can we just put
Make
one
an
in?
ordinance.
Probably have to go by ordinance, but there should be one put in both parking lots.
And Nancy, you want to, you can
Yeah.
work on that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do that.
Great, thank you.
In this lot.
In this one, yeah.
Yeah.
There is
But
one in
not-
this one, but not in the two permit
Yeah.
parking.
Pardon me, there's one where?
In our lot, in the borough's lot.
So we don't need, there should already be an ordinance for the one over there?
I don't know.
I don't either.
Probably not, because it's separate. This is for the borough, and those are for permit parking, so it's probably separate. I don't know. I'm not sure exactly legally how that works.
So but the parking lot further down, that's for
That doesn't
permit
have,
parking?
that's permit parking, but it doesn't have, and this one is
Okay.
permit parking, but it doesn't have.
We'll figure it out.
So the two
Yeah.
that have permit parking need handicap
Yes, right.
spots? Okay.
How's everybody?
Good, Bob, how are you?
How are you?
I just want to express my thanks to all of you. My wife passing away, of course. But the other thing I would like to talk about is the ambulance crews that showed up during the time of distress. They were there at the house at least 4 times, so I'm talking with a little experience that they impressed me the heck and back.
Good.
They were great.
That's awesome.
That's nice, thank you.
They came in and got it done, whatever had to be done, and they calmed down the family. They went out the door, calmed the family out there. It was amazing. I don't know how they do that every day. It was an answer to my prayers to make things easier, you know, and they did. And I thank you all for getting that situation together and hiring this type of crew. You deserve credit for that.
Thanks, Bob.
Thank you.
Thanks,
If you
Bob.
need any help, we'll call you.
Thanks, Bob.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Bob.
Thank you,
Happy New
Bob.
Year.
Happy New Year.
Same to you, Bob.
Thank you. Okay. So can I have a motion for adjournment?
I'll make a motion for adjournment.
Motion by Mr. Conti, second by Mrs. Provenza. Are there any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.